It's fantasy football draft season, and we're wondering what to do with our top picks, which running backs to go after, when to go after running backs. Today, we're going to be talking about Ashton Jeanty. We're going to talk about whether or not you need him for fantasy football. You may not after watching this video. And on top of that, it's also going to help you strategize around him and what you want to do later in the draft. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at your players every day. We're looking at draft strategies. We're going to help you set your lineups. We're going to help you find them gems off the waiver wire when things get rough this season, and we're going to be here for you. Click that button. Stop missing out. Today, we're looking at Ashton Jeanty, big-time prospect from Boise State. Drafted in the first round, 6th overall here. And Ashton Jeanty is a guy everybody's going to look at and wonder on their cheat sheet what to do with him, but coming out of high school, because we're doing a deep dive here, and you got to see how the sausage is made. And this is a former 4-star recruit, 3-star in the composite here, RB29, RB90, 24/7 Sports whiffed on this kid. You throw in the high school tape, you see a bigger running back prospect for his age. Get targets downfield, running routes downfield. You see the vision. You see his contact balance, the ability to make guys miss in the open field. You see that. Hard to bring down, tough runner, but yet good in the passing game. You see him being very stable downfield catching balls. That's something you may see with the Raiders that you didn't see all the time with Boise, being a downfield threat or getting deeper downfield on the route running. And there's a couple metrics here that if you never watched him are also clues from the college game that you want to look at. Not going to be the fastest running back out there, but his game is just taking touch after touch, making guys miss, being a bowler out there and just rolling over everybody and rolling around everybody and still can roll past everybody. And we saw that the last couple years. 1,300 yards in 2023, 14 touchdowns. 2,600 yards, almost 30 touchdowns on the ground last year. Setting records. Barry Sanders style. 23 balls caught, 43 balls caught the year prior. And the 23 balls caught last year was due to him getting so much work in the run game. Why risk your quarterback dropping back when you can just hand it to him? Why risk that? 5.25 yards after contact per attempt. He averaged 7 yards per carry. Think about that. That's elite. The 4.52 yards after contact per attempt the year prior is elite. Those are elite traits. He maxed out everything he could do at the college level, especially against the competition he was going up against. Yards after the catch per reception, 6.7, 14.1. He was the whole team. And he dominated. And the big thing to point out was the competition. But 192 on Oregon, 226 Oregon State, 259 Washington State, Hawaii 217. You're going down here, you're seeing some other teams of note here. Not the toughest schedule. It took a lot of rushing attempts to get 104 on Penn State. It felt like forever watching that game. But still, you're seeing a running back prospect here that was dominant. It shows the ability to take over games. And we've seen running backs at this level of college football that received notoriety that could not do this. At all. And you watch the tape, you see this from him and his intangibles, the vision, the cutback ability, the contact balance. He's like a cat. He ain't leaving his feet, taking the right steps there. Hard to bring down. He's compact. And that's what you're seeing. The Raiders stepped in, drafted him 6th overall. He could be a transcendent player on this team. 96th percentile college dominator rating. That's the ownership of the team's offense. When it comes to yards and touchdowns, he owned 96th percentile among running backs ever to be recruited. 43.7%. That's elite territory. Target share 10.8%. That's elite territory. Workload in the passing game. I think that gets a little bit understated with Ashton Jeanty. This is a team that's going to use him in all phases. And if you go back to the high school tape, that's kind of a clue to that too. The high school tape, 24/7 Sports whiffed on that. We cover high school recruiting here on the channel January, February, March. So if you're into your college football team, you better be here. You better be here after the fantasy football season. But you look at the running backs on the roster, who's going to compete? You got Raheem Mostert there. You got the veteran there. That's the buffer back. That's the buffer back. There might be a little bit of a split there. There might be, as teams want to use two running backs. Zamir White hasn't got it done. Sincere McCormick surprised people last year. Dylan Labe can catch balls out of the backfield. Nothing compared to Ashton Jeanty. And now you're looking at this backfield. It looks like it's going to be the Ashton Jeanty show. And they paid up for him in the draft to have the Ashton Jeanty show. What we saw last year in college football, he better get his own show. That's what we got here. And we do not have a 500-yard rusher last year. Different coaching staff, different everything. We did not have a 500-yard rush. I had to stare at this chart. I maybe had to double check with other websites. Maybe this is wrong. This is hard to believe. Not a 500-yard rusher last year. 3.2 yards per carry with Alexander Madison. Amir Abdullah was a breath of fresh air at the end of the season. Sincere McCormick, too. Zamir White, 2.8. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. And going to Chip Kelly's offense here. Run heavy at Oregon. And when he's in the NFL, it's like 50-50, which is run heavy nowadays. And you got Ashton Jeanty. Chip Kelly looked at that and said, that's going to fit in my offense. And his workload and usage in the pass game, that's going to fit with what Chip Kelly likes to do. He likes to be fast-paced. He likes to use the run game. He likes to be quick. And he's going to fit in this offense pretty well. And on top of that, Geno Smith's targets here. He targets the running back, and it really depends on what they got and where they're at. That will increase, and it's been increasing throughout the years. 8.5% last year. They were targeting the running backs good last year in Seattle. And that could be the case here with the Raiders because you got Chip Kelly. You got a blue chip running back prospect. That could be a major case here when you're looking at the running back position and you're looking at Ashton Jeanty here getting work in a passing game because it's not like you have any Jamar Chases, Justin Jeffersons, where you just throw the targets up, see what happens. Nothing, no shade thrown at Jacoby Myers, Jack Betcher, anybody like that. You do got a Brock Bowers, though. But still, you're going to be using him in the passing game. Guarantee you that. Raheem Mostert is going to be competition. He's also 33 years old. He's closer to collecting AARP or whatever that's called than being a rookie. He's got some speed to burn. He's been in the league. He's got experience. He can get it done a little bit. We got a little contract here. They signed him in March. They did not leave him on free agency long. They picked him up quick. They wanted that veteran presence that makes sense with Ashton Jeanty. And on top of that, they didn't know they were going to have Ashton Jeanty. But still, there was a good idea of what they were wanting to do because Ashton Jeanty is a top-level prospect that can turn over a franchise if he hits to his upside. You can say that with a lot of first-round picks, but it's way more evident with a guy that took over and torched college football than many of the other ones. And now you're looking here at the contract, short-term, quick-term, the buffer back. The buffer back might get some opportunities early on. Eventually, it's going to be the Ashton Jeanty show completely. And he's being drafted in the second round of underdog drafts. Most of the summer, he was going on the tail of the first round, the 11th, the 12th pick, the 10th pick, somewhere around there. Now more redrafty gamers are getting into underdog right now, and you're seeing the ADP flip the more lineup setting than versus best ball versus upside versus those guys trying to be kind of like those pseudoscience players. But now here's the question and strategy. It's still expensive for a rookie. You saw what happened with Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. Now the running back position's different, but you have HN, you have Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry always gets slept on, but always gives you results. One day Father Time will be there, but you kind of just want to ride it till it doesn't. And you also got good wide receivers in this range. You're also drafting more than likely on the tail in this range. So maybe if you go double hero RB or robust RB and you go like a Henry Jeanty, HN Jeanty, or if you don't like Jeanty, H.N. Henry, if you want to go robust, also one of those wide receivers could fall to you. If Jeanty goes, or Henry or H.N. goes a little bit earlier in your redraft league, then one of those wide receivers are going to fall to you. You might catch an Amon-Ra, Puka, and then you can stack it with a running back. Which running back you do? The opportunity cost is very high here, where you can get a veteran that will probably yield you the same results. What you're looking at with Ashton Jeanty here is you're hoping that the talent emerges here early in the NFL. Week 1, he got Bo Jackson in him. You're hoping he's Bo Jackson. You're drafting hoping he's that and get you the Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey numbers. Those big weeks every single week like a superhuman would, like we saw at Boise. That's what you're drafting for. You're not drafting him just to get your usual rookie ramp up, look good, middle of the season, ramps up back 9 of the season, starts showing you that he could be that. You're expecting him to be a generational talent off the rip, one of those players, which a lot of good running backs don't end up being that way. So there is a gamble for that. You might have a rookie ramp up in there. Rookie ramp-ups are evident with almost all rookies. That's one thing to think about. Usually it takes them a little bit of time. Sometimes their ramp-up doesn't seem like a ramp-up, and then you look at the back 9 season, they explode. But you need him to explode week 1 at this price tag. The opportunity cost is vast. You got Brock Bowers there. You got Drake London. You got A.J. Brown behind him. You got Ladd McConkey. You got other running backs who are veterans, who are proven, even in worse situations. That is something you need to pay attention to. But the thing is, you look at what he did last year, and you look at his ADP and where he's at, there's a chance for that, but are you going to bet on it? That's up to you. But you're looking at ADP, you're seeing the swoop in, you're seeing the drop. Gamers are noticing that as you're getting more redrafty gamers in here. There hasn't been many changes. That being said, that's a real question. That's a real question because the price was up there. The price was up there. We've been notating this a lot throughout the offseason because you also got a Marin Hampton a few rounds cheaper, and you also have him anchored down with a stud running back, a stud wide receiver, then go a Marion. That could be a good value for you if you want to go that route. If you want a first-round rookie running back, that's a little bit safer. But the upside of Jeanty is just being generational, and you're betting on that. That's a hard task. That's a hard task. That is a hard task for a rookie. That's a hard one. Like, it could happen. He could blow your face back week 1 and take over for the rest of his career, and he could have a longer career than realized or whatever. He could be that superhuman running back. That's a hard task to beat that ADP as a rookie. That's a very hard task, especially where it was in June, May, even July is dipping a little bit. People are realizing that. Are you going to take that gamble? Because it is a gamble, but if you hit, you're going to get something big. But on the flip side, you got something big already looking at you. That's the flip side to that. But you're just hoping that you can squeeze out a little bit more. Maybe you're getting too greedy. So you want the elite talent. You want the elite talent. That's why you need him. You want the elite talent. If he hits big. I mean, the hit portion, the upside portion, that upside's immense. The upside is Bo Jackson-esque because that's what he showed us at the college level. That's what could potentially happen. The workload's going to be there. Where else is it going to go? Brock Bowers, he can't get all the touches. Where else is it going to go? You think Raheem Mostert's going to have a renaissance? That ain't going to happen. You don't want to take that rookie risk. You don't need him. You don't have to get him. There's a lot of good opportunity costs here that is fair at that price point that is going to be good. That is going to be good throughout the year that you could look at. This is a risky proposition because he could have a great season for a rookie. He could have one of the best rookie seasons of all time and still not live up to that draft capital. You need him to come out of the gates, come out swinging. But if he does, your team might be unbeatable. That's the thing about that because you're drafting on the turn. You can get 2 good running backs. And now you're on the turn picking it apart because when you go with those 2 running backs and you're playing in a home league setting, more than likely, that's going to create FOMO in your draft. The rest of the gamers in your league are going to start pulling up earlier than expected on running backs. then wide receivers are going to fall to you at the tail. Because in home league drafts, people don't get patient. Unlike underdog drafts, unlike industry drafts, unless you're playing in a home league where it's very competitive. But still, when it's very competitive, people try to put on their pants too tight and try to act like they're too smart. And then things like that happen still. That being said, maybe you do that. Maybe you get your anchor running back in him. Maybe you feel good. Maybe you don't. You do what you want to do here. The upside's immense, but he is going to get the workload. He's going to get the workload. He's going to get the opportunities. He ain't going to be messed around like that. That's the thing about Ashton Jeanty. He could still give you good results. He's relatively safe. He's a relatively safe running back prospect right now that you can hammer in your drafts. The workload and touches are going to be there. He's going to get a lot of touches. He might have a little ramp-up period where he's like RB2-ish, back in RB1-ish, might be off and on. As his team's figuring things out, you got a new coaching staff, you got a new quarterback, you got a lot of new here. You got a tight end in the second year of his career with a new coaching staff. You got a lot of things to jumble up here, not just him. And he's acclimating to the NFL game, the speed of the game, and everything else. And now you're looking at him with heavy draft capital. Maybe you anchor him with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's a great veteran running back that a lot of people sleep on, who probably should not be going in the second round. Definitely probably shouldn't be, but a lot of people sleep on him. But he's going to give you first-round results at the running back position. That's something to look at. Or you go wide receiver Jeanty, but the upside there could transcend you in your league. But you also could have that ramp up the first part of the season that might be a little bit anticlimactic. But he's going to hit somewhere down the line. He's going to hit somewhere down the line. That's the thing about this. The workload's going to be there, though. He's going to give you that upside. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.